What's up, my people? We have got a packed episode lined up for you guys, starting with a look at the origin of Kid Venom, a really dope new manga-style Venom character that was introduced a few months ago during the death of the Venomverse story. After that, we want to show you guys an amazing new Venom-themed pinball machine that Stern Pinball just sent over to the studio. And lastly, we gotta talk about the surprising new ability Marvel just gave Miles Morales in Giant-Size Spider-Man #1. However, we want to lead off with the release of Astonishing Times: The Rise of the Koken #1 this past week, which is the first spin-off title in the AT universe, and it gives us the backstory of one of its coolest heroes, Koken. This new 5-issue series, along with the original Astonishing Times title, is co-written by Frank Barberi and our very own Aris Quinones, with amazing art by my fellow Irishman, Rory Coleman. Issue 1 is available right now on Comixology and Kindle, and you can find the link to grab your digital copy in the description. We are obviously stupid excited for Aris and the guys to get a chance to expand their comic universe, and if this is your first introduction to these characters, we posted a bio episode on Koken a while back, which you can find right here. Honestly, he's probably my favorite character in the Astonishing Times universe so far, and issue 1 does not disappoint. So if you want to support indie comics and show Aris and the team some love, click the Comixology link in the description and pick up a copy now. And while we're on the subject, our good friend and longtime guest of the show, Comic Tom, dropped the first issue of his debut comic title this past week as well. It's a great indie sci-fi horror title called Crashdown that you need to add to your pull list. You can pick up a copy of Crashdown issue 1, including some amazing variant covers, at comictom101.store. Link for that is in the description as well. Now, with all that said, let's get into it with Kid Venom Origins. In issues 2 through 5 of Death of the Venomverse, Kid Venom was introduced and given a backstory. So Marvel recently collected all 4 of those mini-stories into a single issue in Kid Venom Origins #1. The character was created and written by veteran manga artist Taigami, so it's no surprise that Kid Venom has a very cool manga and anime-like visual and art style, which is crazy cool and makes him pretty unique amongst the symbiote-based characters. Anyway, we meet Kid Venom in 10th century Japan on the outskirts of the capital, where a father and fellow villagers are trying to protect his daughter from something invading the village. The father says, "Kaya, when we start running toward the gate, you escape with the kids out the back. I've heard there are samurai. You can defeat them at the capital. Once you're out, run straight to the capital. Never stop." But then on the next page, we see a symbiote-possessed bear saying, "Dad's gonna die." All the villagers start attacking the bear with their farming tools to protect their children. But as the symbiote lunges towards the villagers, out of nowhere, someone comes flying in, kicking the symbiote bear right in the face, saying, "I'm sorry I'm late. That was close. I'm a samurai from the capital. Is everyone safe?" Then as the bear is stumbling to its feet, the samurai says, "It's reviving faster than I thought. I'm gonna keep him away while I fight." And after telling everyone to stay put, we also learn via captions that this samurai's name is Kintaro. Kintaro then says, "Wake up, Clinter. Mealtime." At which point the Venom symbiote starts to form over him, revealing that this young boy, or samurai, is Kid Venom. As the Venom symbiote starts to take over Kintaro's body, he starts speaking to him, saying, "So you have finally found the next symbiote. It's been too long since the last evil spawn showed up. Well, time to eat." Now, as we see Kid Venom getting ready to fight, it's worth noting that in this panel, he already looks like a young Venomized Goku. Anyway, Kid Venom then starts attacking this carnage-looking symbiote bear as a villager yells out, "Another Oni." Now, some of you are probably wondering what that is. Well, in Japanese culture, an Ani or an Oni is a type of demon or evil creature or entity. In any case, Kid Venom then says, "Don't worry, we are not like the others. We keep our sanity when bonded. We're still samurai." We then see Kid Venom blast the bear symbiote into the sky, saying, "There shouldn't be much collateral damage if I take the fight to the sky. I'm not gonna get anyone hurt up here. We're gonna devour him in the sky, Clinter. Got it?" But before he even has a chance, the symbiote he's fighting starts shooting his offspring at the villagers below, with Kintaro saying it's trying to make the villagers hosts to make more Onis. It's afraid of us, but Clinter says, "I'm on it." We then see his symbiote throw out several tendrils to catch all of the offspring before it could bond with the villagers. Kid Venom says, "No matter how many symbiote offsprings you make, that means nothing to us, you little punk. We'll rip that thing off you soon enough." He then says, "Change to Falcon." Now at this point, the comic shows us a mini flashback and explanation of this Clinter Venom symbiote. Captions tell us the parasitic life forms called symbiotes feed off their host's adrenaline. Their bond strengthens the host's abilities and by learning and evolving as they grow. But Clinter, the symbiote attached to Kintaro, Kintaro does not feed on adrenaline. Instead, it needs to eat other symbiotes to survive. And when it consumes them, it also absorbs the memories of the other symbiote and their hosts and evolves. So since Kintaro is bonded to Clinter, all the powers from the Onis he's consumed have become part of him. And for whatever reason, Clinter, this particular symbiote, is able to transform into a falcon-like form, allowing Kintaro and his symbiote to fly. We also need to note here that even though the character's name is Kid Venom, his symbiote's name is Clinter, and seems to be significantly different than the actual Venom symbiote. But it's pretty dope that when Clinter absorbs or eats other symbiotes, it also gains their powers and memories, which seems to be why, as we see on this page, Kintaro and his symbiote are able to transform into a falcon. Anyway, as a falcon, they grab the bear symbiote with its talons, and Kintaro tells Clinter to eat it. But Clinter is only looking to harm and consume the symbiote, so he comforts the bear, telling him just a little bit more and we'll have you free. But we're then taken to the woods where we see the bear is impaled with several red spikes, as captions say, "I admire strong beasts like you. I'm sure there is no animal that's dared to rival you because you are so strong. And to live freely like you do, you need power. Speaking of, the deep told me that you're the one in control here, king of these hills. Bear, give that power to the true king, me." As we see, it's a woman with red symbiote tendrils coming off of her. The bear then wakes up, which reveals this was just some kind of a dream, a memory the bear was having while he was knocked out, presumably of how he became infected with the symbiote in the first place. And like all of you, I'm assuming this is either the Carnage symbiote or at least a version of it. Anyway, after the bear wakes up, Kintaro asks, "How are you feeling?" And interestingly, the bear then speaks, asking, "Where am I?" Kintaro tells him, "It's your den. I saw it in your memories once I ate the symbiote that was controlling you. So I brought you here. Sorry, I looked at your memories without your permission." The bear's cub then comes out and realizes their dad is alive, as Kintaro tells the bear, "I ate the entire Oni that was possessing you. You don't have to worry now." The bear replies, "Thank you, but why can I talk?" Which is exactly what I was wondering. But Kintaro thankfully explains that it comes from the Oni, saying, "Since I ate your Oni, we can talk to each other now. Anyway, I'm glad you're all right." Following this, we see Kintaro tie a message to a falcon, a message for someone named Raiko-san. And following what we learned from the bear incident, we can assume that this is a falcon he saved from a previous Oni, which would also explain why he's able to transform into a symbiote falcon. Anyway, Kintaro tells the falcon, "I have to go back to the village. I want to help them repair the damage that was done. After that, I'll head back." Then as he heads out to help the village, he asks Clinter if he's awake and if he's gonna help him. Then on the last page, we're taken to the house of Minamoto Yorimitsu, where the falcon has delivered the letter. We then see the person who reads it say, "The son of Shuten Doji is very close. I must prepare immediately." And the issue ends with a caption that says, "To be continued in Kid Venom issue 1. Now that's the overview of all 4 of the original Kid Venom back issue stories from Death of the Venomverse collected in the Kid Venom Origins #1. And I gotta tell you, I think this is one of the most interesting symbiote-centric characters to be introduced into the Marvel Universe in some time. It was kind of a stroke of genius by Marvel Comics to allow manga artist Taigami to come in and create a brand new character rooted in 10th century Japanese and samurai culture. The manga spin is really cool, and the gamble has definitely paid off. So Taigami is set to return in April to continue expanding Kid Venom's story in a 4-issue Kid Venom miniseries. It also opens up the doors for Marvel to try this approach with other characters, and there are a butt ton of dope possibilities if they decide to move in that direction. But let us know what you guys think of Kid Venom, and if you want to see more of the character when his solo series drops in a few months. Now, as promised, we've got this amazing Venom and symbiote themed pinball machine in studio from today's sponsor, Stern Pinballs, that you have got to see. There's something particularly fun about a great pinball game, especially when the theming is right, and Stern killed it with this one. This is the premium edition of the Venom pinball game, which features over 20 characters, including Carnage, Venomized Hulk, Eddie Brock, Null, Flash Thompson, Peter Parker, and more. This is an interactive, story-based game with multiple game options. Essentially, you are Venom and need a host. So at the start of each ball, players select a host, which physically changes the playfield shots. Choose your host, change the game. And with all the interactive pieces, sound effects, music, and light feature details, this thing is utterly addictive. Not sure how many times I've played at this point, but it's a lot. A couple of my personal favorite game features are bashing the sculpted Carnage back into the Ravencroft Institute, the challenge of keeping up with the Fastlock symbiote containment vessels that quickly release pinballs as you hit certain points, and trying to hit the hidden trick shots. You can also level up as you advance through the game and battle Null, the god of the symbiotes. But this game also features a first-of-its-kind digital system that allows players to save their game progress, earn achievements, and even compete with friends through Stern's Insider Connected app, which can be downloaded for iOS or Android. It's completely free to set up, and once you're logged in, you can scan your unique QR code to connect to the game and even connect with other players around the world. What I'm saying is, I need a couple of these for my house. But to check out complete details on Stern's Venom pinball game, visit sternpinball.com or use our link in the description below. Now let's jump into Giant-Size Spider-Man to see what new powers help Miles Morales take on Venom. Over the past year or so, Marvel has been dramatically expanding the powers and abilities of Miles Morales, to the point that he's now able to focus it into a lightning sword, like some kind of lightsaber-wielding spider Jedi. Well, now in Giant-Size Spider-Man issue 1, it was revealed that he is developing his spider sense to the extent that it can be used like some kind of X-ray vision. Obviously, we're not talking about Superman level here, but it's a form of X-ray vision nonetheless. Essentially, it appears to be an advanced form of spider sense that he is still trying to master, which is a very cool idea. We first see it at the very beginning of the issue as Miles is working with Misty Knight to take down Black Obsidian and his goons. They received a tip from Mayor Luke Cage about a possible cache of illegal high-tech weapons Obsidian's organization was selling on the street, and we see Miles using his stealth ability to break into the warehouse while Misty is staking things out from a nearby rooftop. Then as Miles is hanging upside down going through the crates of weapons, his spider sense goes off, and his inner dialogue tells us that he has been using unique breathing techniques that Bruce Banner taught him, or as he calls him, the nice big green Doc Sasquatch, to focus his spider sense. Miles then says that those therapy sessions were initially just a way to reset his spider sense after it had gone haywire, but in the process he realized that if he really focused, his spider sense would expand to the point that he could almost see the danger. And this is when we get our first look at this advanced version of his ability, as he uses it to look through the wall in front of him, revealing several X-ray-like skeletal images of Obsidian and his crew entering the building. What I really like here is that they're introducing these new abilities for Miles slowly and letting him develop them over time rather than just suddenly presenting him as this much more powerful version of the character all at once. I'm not sure I love that they're making him more powerful than Peter Parker's Spider-Man, but at least they're making it interesting. Anyway, Miles cloaks himself as the gang rushes in and starts gathering the weapons, but just as Miles jumps in to stop them, Venom bursts through the wall, wrecks everybody, and then goes after Black Obsidian. But Obsidian and his crew get the upper hand on Venom by using the high-tech energy weapons against him, at which point Miles fully realizes that these are weapons created by his new arch-enemy, Rabble. So he jumps in to save Venom, and the two join forces to beat the crap out of Obsidian and his thugs. And this is where we see Miles use his advanced spider sense for a second time, because after Venom restrains Black Obsidian, he lifts him in the air and is about to kill him with a blade he formed with his right hand. We then see Morales ignite his lightning sword to block Venom's blade while simultaneously trying to talk him down. And as the fight between Miles and Venom escalates, Venom blasts him with symbiote goo in the face, blinding him. So Miles focuses his spider sense to locate Venom and his movements, and just as Venom is about to tackle him, Miles says, "Venom, my man, just cause I'm blinded don't mean I can't see," as he then unloads an uppercut to Venom's jaw and slams him to the ground. Now Venom is able to recover and almost defeats Miles before Misty Knight shows up to help Miles out of the jam. But the main focus here is that all of Miles' power seems to be evolving and growing. And this first stage of an advanced spider sense, which may eventually turn into full-blown X-ray vision, is the latest massive upgrade for the character. I'm curious about where the writers and Marvel are going to take this ultimately, but they may be drawing inspiration from spiders in the real world. They have some of the best vision in the animal kingdom, including great night vision and the ability to see through UVA and UVB rays. So maybe they see that as a good reason to take spider sense to a new level. It also makes you wonder what other changes we might see to Miles' power set, and whether we'll see any of these evolving powers extend to other heroes in the Spider-Verse. As always, we'll just have to wait and see, but clearly we'll need to keep a close eye on Miles Morales because he could be on his way to becoming the most powerful Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse. But that closes things out for this episode. So what do you guys think about all these changes and upgrades to Miles Morales Spider-Man? Let us know down in the comments. Otherwise, we'll see you next time when we talk about the return of Megatron.